Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes track days, they go wrong. Bad things happen. And I was recently at a track day. It was actually a fantastic track day. And the organizers, I love these guys. I had such a good time hanging out with them, getting to know them, understanding the philosophy of the track, of this track day organization, I should say. And it was just a good time all around. But at track days, incidents occur. And a few things happened, and it made me think that making a video about that would be a great learning opportunity, especially for those who are newer to the sport, or maybe they've been doing this for some time, and just, some things to keep in mind, keep us all safer and happier and having a great time out on the racetrack. All right, so first off, number one is at the beginning of any session. Oh, this is the first time I'm driving my car since that track day, and I can feel all the nastiness on my brake pad still. So the first thing is your first session of any day, you want to go nice and easy. The first lap or so is usually on standing yellow, which means no overtaking. Let your car and your mind warm up. Don't be pushing it. Don't come out guns blazing. You're going to cause issues. You're going to get your car off track. You may damage your car, damage someone else's car, be unsafe. We don't like that. So at this event, on the first session of the first day, this Toyota MR2 had an off literally seconds after the flag went green. So be gradual with it. You're going to have a much better time. You're going to have more longevity with your own vehicle if you go nice and easy. Now that same MR2 had a second off in that first session. Now depending on the track day organization, some are going to be more chill and lenient and laid back. Some are going to be a little bit more strict. And there's a large spectrum here. I like those that are more in the middle. When they're too strict, I think sometimes the fun is lost. And I've had a track day organization tell me that you should never be driving 10/10ths, only go 7/10ths. And I'm like, bro, we go 7/10ths on the road. We're trying to go 10/10ths on the track. That's how you learn. And then there's other people who are like, anything goes. It kind of becomes the wild, wild west. So keep that in mind, because oftentimes if you have two offs in one session, they may actually, depending on the organization, they may kick you out for the rest of the day. And no one wants that. That's not fun. The annoying thing for people who are in the session is that now they have usually a yellow flag because your car is off track. Each time your car is off track, there's going to be a yellow in that segment of the track where we all need to slow down, no overtaking, drive nice and easy to be safe. So don't be that guy that's causing the issues. Situation numero dos is actually the main reason I wanted to make this video, which is that if a car is in your rear view, that usually means they're faster than you and you should let them pass. Especially if they weren't there before and they're there now, that does mean they are faster than you and you should let them pass. So the situation that happened is that I was trailing a red GR86 for over a lap. It was maybe a lap and a half, and I was getting pretty frustrated that this guy wasn't letting me pass, because we're both stock power cars, and I can't pass him on the straights. I can only pass him in the turns, or if he gives me a point by. And the driver, I know the guy, he's a gentleman, he's a totally chill dude, no personal issues, no personal qualms at all. I think sometimes there's just a little bit of a misunderstanding with regards to expectations with track etiquette and yada yada yada. So long story short, I dive bombed him, which is also not safe, but in that situation where you can't get past someone, what are you gonna do? This guy should be letting me pass. He's slower than me. Yeah. Bad. Actually, as I say that, the thing that you should do as I say, not as I do, is go pull off, go to the hot pits, allow some distance between you and that driver, and then get back out there. But that's what I should have done, which I did not do. So I dive bombed him instead. And that was my way of alerting him. So I, dive bombed, and then I did not actually complete the overtake. I just did it enough so that he was aware that, hey man, I'm trying to overtake. But I didn't want to risk a collision, so I backed off. And after that, I was like, cool, he's gonna totally let me pass now, because I dive bombed him. And that's not what happened. In fact, he doubled down and was like, nope, you're not passing. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me just give you more pressure then. So I got on his tail and kept the pressure on so that, you know, he would get the idea. And again, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing I'm being kind of a dum-dum and I should have just gone off the track in the hot pits. But, so learning lesson for me, learning lesson for this guy too, right? Essentially what happened is that at the next hairpin, I think because of the pressure, he braked too late, and then I think 2 wheels went off or something like that, and then I was able to overtake him on the inside because he went too wide on that turn. And I was like, yes, success, I got in front. Now, again, don't do that. Don't dive bomb. Don't put pressure on people. You should just go into the pits and then talk to them actually after the session, which is what I did. I talked to him after the session, and when I have done this in the past, which is like, hey man, you know, love your Corvette. Do you mind letting my stock Scion FRS pass you because I can't pass you on the straights? Then normally the guys are very understanding, like, oh, like, I'm really sorry about that. Especially if you come at them with like a very respectful, like a, hey, great stuff out there. I love what you're doing. Great driving. By the way, you know, just want to make sure we're all having a good time out there. They're going to be more receptive to that. So that happened a lot back when I had my FRS, which was a super slow car, and I could not overtake anyone on the straights. But yeah, so I talked to the guy afterwards, and he was like, well, you know, you drive bombed me, and I was like, you know, red mist, which is a new term I learned, which I think means like anger or like the competitive nature of being on the track or something. And I was like, well, yeah, but you know, if a car is, you should really let someone pass. He's like, oh yeah, well, I was doing a hot lap. You know, I was doing a timed session, and that's why I didn't let you pass. At any given moment, a lot of people are trying to do timed sessions and trying to go faster. Like, we all want clean laps. So generally it's poor etiquette to hold people behind you because you're trying to do your own clean lap, your own hot lap, right? And anyways, situation to be avoided. Talked to the guy. We had understanding. He was cool about it. Like, you know, and we were all set. And then in future sessions, when I did get on his tail, he actually was very courteous and like got out of the way, made it very easy for me to pass, like in that turn or like the very next straight or whatever. So I do appreciate that. All right, number 3. It's got to be a Corvette driver. It's always a Corvette driver. Stereotypes are there for a reason sometimes. Now, depending on the organization, you may actually grid according to lap time, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful, brilliant idea, and I wish more track day organizations did this. So the idea being that faster cars grid first, slower cars grid later in any given run group. The reason that works so well is because now you don't have to worry about being stuck behind a car that's a lot slower than you, since generally speaking, you're all going to just spread out once you get on the track if you have gridded up appropriately. Now, at any given track day, there is one thing that will always be true. Egos are running at full tilt. And it's because men, we all have egos, myself included. And if there's 2 things that every guy thinks he knows how to do, number 1 is and number 2 is drive a car. And if you challenge a man on either of those 2 things, then you're questioning his manhood, and how dare you. Now, this driver, I'm guessing for ego reasons, but perhaps he was confused and lost, or I don't know. Now, the Corvette driver gridded towards the front. He was actually like in the middle of the, like, normally you grid on the sides, and he was kind of like in the middle, so maybe he was lost, I don't know. And long story short, it became very apparent that he didn't belong towards the front because of his racing line, and because as soon as the flags turned from yellow to green, he spun out like 2 turns later. And the lesson there, I think, is to approach track days with humility. Like, it's always better to think you're slower than you are, because you will learn from those around you. If you have the mindset that, hey, I have things I can improve on and things that I can learn from, you're going to accelerate your own skill development. I feel that for myself, again, I have a lot to learn still, but from where I started on my first ever Laguna Seca track day, when you can see a breakdown of that lap with CSG Mike on this video here, oh my god, like between my first to second days at Laguna Seca, I think I shaved off like 20-something seconds on my lap time, which is insane, right? Because I was starting at such a low point on my first track day. So the key thing there is really approaching it with humility. And then the final thing is be respectful to everyone. Again, I have had issues with people on the track, you know, again, especially when I had my FRS and there were cars that were much faster than the FRS. but they wouldn't let me overtake, even though I was on them in the corners. On the straight, they would just rocket away, and then I'd catch them again on the next set of corners. It's a very common thing if you drive a lower horsepower car. And, you know, approaching anyone in the paddock, guns blazing, is, you're not going to win any friends or favors. And this last instance was a young gentleman who, as I was cooling down my car and returning the car after the previous session, he approached me with a higher level of antagonism and aggression than I was expecting. I was pretty confused because I overtook him on a checkered flag. This track day organization allows overtaking on checkered flags.
What's up?
Yo.
Hey, why are you trying to pass me on the
What are you talking about?
Weren't you out there just now?
What's up?
Weren't you just out there right now?
Yeah, it was. You realize that checkered flag is open, you can still pass on a checkered flag.
But your lap wasn't going to count.
It
You
does.
went through the checkered flag and then you went through again.
No. What car are you in?
Silver FRS.
I don't understand what the problem is. I passed you on a checkered flag. What's wrong with that? So, I take safety very seriously. So first of all, I was confused, but I went to the organizers. I was like, hey, did I up here? Like, I thought that you guys allowed checkered flag overtakes, but I just got chewed out by this guy. And they're like, no, that's totally fine. Like, tell that guy to talk to us if he has a problem. So that was cleared up. But then I definitely didn't feel like I wanted to be this guy's friend or treat him with any. I wasn't gonna go out of my way to help this guy now because of the way that he approached me when he had a problem with my behavior. Which, first of all, don't assume fault and don't approach people with aggression as your default, because in this instance the guy's mad that I overtook him on a checkered when it's like, bro, that's allowed. And I even talked to the organizers and they said not a problem, that's totally normal. Anyway, thanks for watching, my friends. Track days are such a privilege to be a part of, and they're so much fun, but we have to really prioritize safety, respect, approaching things in a way that is sometimes challenging to do, right? Because egos are running hot, tempers are running hot, there's a lot of adrenaline, there's all the speed and danger, and the excitement can sometimes make it more challenging to remain calm and level-headed. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Much love, my friends. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.